Yeah, so welcome to part 2 with my dusty and dirty laptop, and yeah, let's just remove the rubbish from the desk and place it somewhere where you can see it. And well, this is a base or like a fundamental part of my anti-NSA, anti-mass surveillance, you name it, configuration. So what we do first, we just turn off Wi-Fi, and then we probably turn off networking as well, so there shouldn't be any network connectivity. So as you can see, networking disabled. So let's check the router first, and here it's saying VPS. So we can check this on my forensic testing device, which is a OnePlus 3. Yeah, it just kills the connection while for whatever reason, because this should have been a legitimate connection, but I don't trust anything. VPS successful at the very least. And yeah, there we go. And as you can see, this is using wireguard as well. So let's run a speed test here on this one, because speed tests are an essential part of verifying that my connection can be trusted. Because if the upload is stellar and the download is like super lousy, I know that something isn't right. So connecting, this should be fine. Yeah, well, that's somewhat slow because this is 100 Mbit connection, but it's using a double VPN tunnel, so should be fine. So nothing I can observe here which would be like totally out of the ordinary. And next in line, it's definitely preferring Wi-Fi. So what I'm showing you here now is what happens if we enable networking. Wi-Fi is still disabled, just like I set it up a minute ago. And I plug in this cable, and well, we should see some yeah, we see some light there. So it's working. And now it's trying to connect, and we can edit my connections here, which, well, I'm not that familiar with XFCE, so bear with me. And what I did, I set the clone MAC address to stable. Normally it's just using some random bogus, and yeah, you see, I've set up the inner authentication for my integrity network, which I call that way because I'm using tunnel TLS and stuff, which I definitely don't like. And now it's trying to connect. I can click it again, and it's just like looping on that circle. Wired connection 1 isn't using any of these, because then I would get problems, because it just hates inner authentication. So that's something you want to set up, and I'm sure it's going to work if you're on a less, well, if they observe you less actively than they do on my end. Yeah, it would help if I would take a look at the screen while I type something. So yeah, I'm just using some insecure password here, which they should be able to, well, hack within a minute. So and what I also recommend is using IPv6. So require IPv6 for this connection. And well, if you will set require IPv4 to none or to false, then it won't work. So I'm just saving this as well. And all it has is like my integrity connection here, which is using tunnel TLS, which it hates. And well, we can select the system certificate here. I just use it from my external disk, because if I download it from the router interface, which involves some hacking at this point, I can't just enter my. Yeah, well, I can show you, because well, obviously we're not connected to anything here, but what I can show you is if I enable Wi-Fi, it's going to prefer that, but since I'm just pushing the VPS button and stuff, it probably won't like that neither. So what we do to connect here is, well, the wired connection 1 just popped up and it's working. So yeah, so this is set to connect to Albania 5 automatically, and it's not using a proxy yet, which I really should change. And yeah, you see why is it looping like crazy? Because I set it to automatically connect to a VPN, which it really doesn't want to do. So if I disable this and disconnect the wired connection, here it's gone entirely. So no, that's again. So certain things don't went entirely high wire yet, but I'm sure they will soon. So let's wait for this to connect, and in the meantime, I'm just checking on my network, and it really mirrors these. So you just end up with 1 and 2, 3. So Montego 1, 2, 3, which you never set up, but that's then just using the bogus configuration with 0 good security. And yeah, it's also automatically connected to VPN as well. So if I disable this and require IPv4 for this connection, but don't require IPv6, then it's pretty much the botnet configuration it loves. And yeah, I'm just unplugging the cable, so now it's forced to use Wi-Fi since there's no cable connection, and yeah, that will not work. So I just disable networking again, enable networking again, and just enable Wi-Fi again, and you're welcome to my daily routine of connecting to the internet on a Linux machine which isn't compromised. So yeah, we've got yeah, and it's looping. So now we plug in the cable. Probably doesn't trust my. Yeah, I'm trying to use these virtual LAN, but it never connected to me to the internet. So require IPv6, and yeah, I definitely should set this up to require IPv6 as well. And yeah, you see, these are grayed out, so I can't click them. I can try to click them, but it won't do anything. Yeah, now it's asking for the inner authentication, which is fine, but that won't ever connect. So yeah, just rename this to pen testing. So since wired connection 1 is bogus, so pen testing safe. And yeah, let's see what happens if I disable the Wi-Fi now, because this is all about, well, switching connections frequently and from confusing the algorithm. I'm sure there's no man sitting behind his desk and trying to monitor me or anything. Otherwise, I wouldn't be prompted to log into my Wi-Fi networks, and I've got this weird your access blocked by your router shit and stuff. So we seem to have like some sort of connection here. So this is, yeah, not server not found, well, whatever. So if we go back to our Technomix, they don't like YouTube. Yeah, and now we can enable Wi-Fi again, and I really hate it, you know. It's just like totally fucked up, because you never get a proper internet connection without the hassle of going through a 10 minutes process. So I just thought to set this up, and now I'm just showing you my my secret weapon, which is wireguard, and I'm just sudo vg quick up, and then I'm just inserting my password here, since it's a root command, so nothing they can do about it apart from port blocking and bullshit. So yeah, there we go, we reset it up. We've got an IPv6 support. Mulvat supports IPv6, and now we disable Wi-Fi. And yeah, well, this looks dead now. But since this is physical, yeah, there you go. Since this is physical, you can always pull the plug. Which pulling the plug of a Wi-Fi router is well, something you can do, but only if you've got physical access. Otherwise, you're pretty much screwed. So yeah, this is just my regular connection problems. So if I connect to this pen testing setup, and I'm trying to use select from file, and yeah, this is the certificate which I downloaded like on 25th of May. So user certificate, none, select from file. Yeah, maybe we should. Yeah, well, if I connect the search, pick some OpenVPN, and I can't even save this. So we need a domain, ccc.hamburg.de. Chaos Computer Club. They're trustworthy. Yeah, no CA certificate required, and we still can't save this. So if I disable this, you see this? I disable it, and it just pops up right away. So, and I disable automatic VPN connection, and wireguard is just camping in the background. It's a stealth VPN protocol, so it won't send any data unless there has data to be sent. So this is working differently than IPsec or OpenVPN. OpenVPN, well, it established disconnected. It establishes a connection to the VPN server, and well, pretty much stays connected all the time, if I understand it correctly, because I'm pretty new to all this stuff, and yeah, I've never been that deep. Yeah, connection established. So now we should have a Wi-Fi connection. No, a LAN connection. So yeah, this won't work without with a VPN. That's correct. MI Mulvert, and yeah, you see now we've got a proper connection, yeah, it's just using what I want to, and YouTube also working now.
Created this dope website with Wix.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't sound that dope in German. So yeah, now we've got internet connection, and the question is, how good will this work if I'm leaving on Wi-Fi? Well, I disabled Wi-Fi, and you see this, it's really not an issue on my connection. So just what I'm trying to show you here is that they are deeply compromising every kind of integral communication, and wired connections can't be that easily compromised. So well, of course, if the router is running on malware, which I highly suspect to be the case for my router, then of course it's a different story. But on the other hand, I'm still able to use the internet with wireguard, and yeah, I set up a VPN connection using NordVPN servers, OpenVPN config files, but well, that refused to connect. So and when it connects, it just goes nuts after 10 minutes. So yeah, since it's already almost 15 minutes, I thank you for your attention, and yeah, stay safe online. Just disable 2.4 gigahertz. You saw in part 1 how compromised it is, and I just want you to be aware that if you think you're connected to your router, double check the channels, which is a pain on Mac and such. That's why I don't recommend any devices like Mac or such, but just be careful, okay? So what appears to be your Wi-Fi might not be your Wi-Fi. Peace.